Easter is just around the corner, and animal experts want to remind you that it's not a good idea to give a bunny as a gift. Shelters are flooded with rabbits every year that are given as presents, and the recipient couldn't take care of it. Joining us to talk about this is Mary Heiser with the Capital Area Humane Society. Good morning.
Good morning.
My daughters have been begging for that bunny, and I think a lot of kids do this time of year, right?
Well, it's so tempting because they're so appealing. They're just beautiful creatures, but it's really not a good idea to give something that you haven't really researched. People think, well, it's like a cat or a dog or a kitten, and it wouldn't mind being carried around, and that's really not the case. Bunnies like to be on the floor. They don't like to be picked up and carried. They like to play in pens running around. But it's a major commitment. It's like a 10-year commitment. So when you think about it that way, it's no less responsibility. It's more responsibility than adopting a dog.
Okay, and what is your experience at the shelter? You start to get a lot of bunnies after
We
Easter?
have bunnies year-round, which is really very sad. Columbus has a great rabbit rescue population. There are several very strong organizations, and they host a Midwest Bun Fest every October. But we have at least 10 to 12 rabbits for adoption at all times. And yes, after Easter, the rabbits start coming in, the things that seemed like a good idea at the time. But once you realize that rabbit really is not like a cat, once they're used to you and they're quiet, yes, they will sit with you, they will play with you, they love to knock over toys. I love to watch our rabbits having rabbit recess. But you need to find a rabbit savvy veterinarian. They need continual care, they need to chew, they need to have a good diet, need to have proper toys. So that's why we're having a rabbit event next Saturday called Beyond the Easter Bunny. So people can find out from people who really take care of rabbits what it takes to be a good rabbit parent. And I think we have a picture of Mildred and Hilda, a bonded pair of bunnies who we have up for adoption right now. Aww. It's one of many bonded pairs that we have at the shelter. These girls were found dumped at a veterinarian's office, which is very sad. And that's what tends to happen is people think, well, you know, I can't deal with this responsibility anymore. They're only a year and a half old. They're bonded, so they're best friends, and they need to be adopted out together. And you can meet them today at the Capital Area Humane Society. Okay,
now who is a good candidate to adopt them?
Someone with an older child or someone with experience who's researched keeping rabbits. It's probably better to not have other pets in the home, unless you have experience with this. They're certainly not a good classroom pet because everybody wants to touch the bunny, hold the bunny, and the bunny really wants to hop around the floor. So they're great for a single person, but it's really nice if you have two rabbits so they can keep each other company.
Right, so hopefully some very good advice because again, lots of kids are asking for this. Easter is coming up.
And several photographers have called us asking to borrow bunnies for Easter pictures, which is also a big no-no because can you imagine how stressful that is for the bunnies?
Sure.
And that's why I didn't attempt to bring Mildred and Hilda this morning.
Absolutely, yes, very cute picture. Well, Mary, thank you so much. Great advice. Definitely something to think about. Again, lots of kids asking for that for this time of year. Thank you very much. Well, you can find out more about this week's pet and watch our previous segments online. Just go to 10tv.com/pets.